Hi guys, a lot of you have requested an actual Offtank guide on how to Offtank VAs +2 hard mode, not a build video or anything, so here it is. First thing your group wants to do is use those opening mechanisms to open the gate for the group, obviously, and start the trial. Obviously, for +2, you're not going to engage the mini-bosses before you engage Holmes. Now, that we like to do this in our group, like we have the main tank turn Holmes to the right, and we have the Offtank catch the second exhausted charge, and the main tank will actually pull Olms more towards the exit fence. What this does is, for the subsequent 90% jump, he will jump closer to the middle as opposed to moving closer to the entrance side, which gives a lot more room to breathe for the entrance side DPS, which helps a lot, especially in regards to the Storm of Heaven's breath AoEs, as you'll notice. Now, two things you want as an Offtank in this trial: lots of time and experience, and the second thing is the add-on graciously made by Code. Thank you so much, Code. And you also want an understanding of how the timers work and how the fight works, and we'll be going over this today. A third thing I forgot to mention you probably want as an Offtank in here is synergy or solid communication with your Maxorg interrupter, typically. Now, if you've noticed while I was talking, Lothus spawn always at the same spot on the exit far spawn point, so just where he ported back to. And I had 8 seconds to stack him on Olms, or rather on Olms' tail. Basically, after the first 8 seconds, he'll always either cone or do the interruptible. And during the jump phase especially, you want to make sure, and the interrupter also has to trust you, that you will get the bash if he's not on the side or near the side where the interrupter is. And you always want to make sure you get Lothus in on Olms so you can have the group cleave him for the most part. Now, when Felms appears at 75%, you sort of don't really care about stacking him because he's going to jump anyway in like the next 4 to 5 seconds. So that's why I just literally didn't give a shit about Felms right now, and I had to stack Lothus. The eventual goal of your group, whether it's a progression group or if you just want to clear or if you want a faster run, is to have the group always cleave Lothus. Now, the degree as to which Felms can be cleaved will depend on how you handle the Lothus stack in conjunction with the Felms jumps. So right now, if Lothus was far away, I should be stacking Lothus as Felms jumps. So Felms is all the way at the end over there. So right now I'm telling myself, alright, I can stack Lothus while Felms is away. And this should be far enough. Now, due to the animations Lothus does, like the light attack bolts, the interruptible, the poison cone, there are times when you can't get him close enough or close enough to where you ideally want him. So you sometimes have to make do with his positioning, sort of what I just did here. I really like to turn off in-game music and whatever other music so I can like listen to the audio cues from Lothus, which is super important because there are times when I don't even have to look at where Lothus ports to or where he ported from. I just kind of listen to the sound and I just know where he ports to. So in a lot of my streams and videos, some people have actually asked me, how do you know he ported there and you went to the opposite direction to stack him? So I just tell those people, you know, if you listen carefully, that his sound he makes actually tells you where he ends up. So audio cues in this fight is really important in my opinion. So I would highly recommend, you know, turning other distracting audio off. So honestly, as an Offtank in here, you have to have an understanding about timers work, which I briefly mentioned. So for those of you who don't know, the green timer is the poison cone. You'll see that most of these timers actually count upwards rather than down, and this is because animations actually affect when the abilities go off. So if Lothus does one more light attack animation, he may do a poison cone at 23 or 24 seconds on the green timer rather than the regular 22. Same for orange timer. Felms is usually whatever. His jump timer remains consistently the same. If your healers manage to get 2 jumps on him rather than 3, then you have a lot more time to cleave him down with the group. As you can see here, I lost a ton of Felms, which is a no-no, especially when he's close in range. At this point, as an Offtank, I ask the group, or tell the group, that you guys should just ignore this and kill Felms right now. Because in range Felms, while you can definitely survive it a lot more than you can survive Lothis, it's more of a danger to the healers. Also, the bacon lines can one-shot DPS, so it's kind of like you really don't want to either mini boss in range. The same here, I've had the group kill Felms. Lothis is now still up. You don't want to panic. If you see him at 2 minutes or 2 minute 30 and it's really low, there's absolutely no need for you to panic and tell the group, hey, you gotta focus this. If your group has enough DPS, that is, to cleave him down fully, there's absolutely no need to worry about him as long as you are stacking him as you see in the video. Now you have Felms up. You pretty much just want to keep their timers in mind. The most important timers to watch for an Offtank, in my opinion, is the green timer for the poison cone, the orange timer for an interruptible on Lothis, and the porting for Felms. Due to the timings of their abilities and so on, they will sometimes do some shitty things like overlap ports. So in this scenario, Felms has jumped and Lothis is far away. In this case, I would like to bring Lothis in to have the group cleave him down because he's closer to enrage and Felms is whatever. In the best case scenario, if Lothis spawns far and there's enough time to like get him in later on Ohms and Felms is near 1 minute, I would prefer to stack Felms on Ohms rather than make sure Lothis is fully on Ohms, if that makes any sense to you guys. As to where I like to stack the mini bosses, Felms in particular, I've kind of experimented as an Offtank where to stack him on Ohms. Definitely don't want to stack him next to the Offtank. You kind of want to stack him where I am stacking him right now in the video, kind of like in between the end of his tail and his butthole. It's because the way the DPS are arranged during the fight, it's sort of like a V formation or a curved U around the backside of Ohms. You want their twisting paths, their walls, pretty much all their cleave focused on both Felms and Ohms, rather than half of the group's AoEs hitting Felms and Ohms and the other half missing Felms but still hitting Ohms. So it's very critical that you as an Offtank recognize the stacking of the minis as very important. So now we've entered execute. For this one, we usually kill Felms right before execute, but we've gone so fast, there's no death, that it's like whatever, we have enough time to kill Felms during execute, and then people are still killing spheres when he jumps. And that's pretty much it. We finish Felms off. And at this moment, you can see that there are a lot more AoEs coming out on the entrance side for the Offtank. I've had a lot more difficult time as an Offtank on the entrance side. So if you are on the entrance side of Ohms, expect a lot more breath AoEs on you during the Storm of the Heavens phase. I've actually never died on the exit side of Ohms as an Offtank. I'm pretty sure I've only died on the entrance side of Ohms. And you don't want to trap yourself there with a poison cone during Storm of the Heavens, because it gets really shitty with the minor vulnerability, and you can potentially die. Now, it's like that because the breath AoEs actually go in a counterclockwise pattern towards entrance. So there's that asshole that dies. Anyway, Rip Remore the Redeemer. But at this point, you don't want to panic, you don't want to give up. I just told the group, whatever, just keep going. And that actually started what I like to call in this game the tilt effect, as you'll see later on. And I realized at this point, we just sort of need to kill Lothis because we don't have much time. I don't think we could have burned 17 some mil with a DPS down with 40 seconds remaining on Enraged Lothis. And during this time, if you guys noticed, I was still stacking Lothis as best as possible on Ohms to get as much cleave damage on Ohms as possible and not waste too much time while we were also killing Sphere. During execute, I like to keep Velms in front of the group, whether it's on Ohms or just in front of the group, so people aren't blindsided by bacon lines or world shapers. And you can still get 2 jumps on Velms if you'd like during this phase. And you pretty much want to tell your interrupter, hey, I'm gonna take care of Lothis by myself, don't worry about interrupting anymore. And you just handle the 2 minis. And put your blood altar down whenever you can. And there's a second tilt effect. The person being tilted at someone else dying. Anyway, you want to take care of both minis. You go where Lothis goes as an Offtank pretty much. Set your blood altar down if you're wearing SPC as the Offtank. And you must make sure to interrupt the Lothis interruptible. Otherwise, the fire plus that plus a World Shaper bacon line will probably kill someone. So here you see Lothis is forward far, there's a countering storm, and the third tilt effect has occurred. And pretty much you always want to pay attention to the timers. Like right now I glanced away by mistake and I missed the first interrupt. And you just, again, want to go where Lothis is and keep an eye on them. Keep the minor maim up on them, weakening if you haven't. And eventually, if your group has enough DPS or so, you can definitely burn Ohms before either of the minis and rages. And that's pretty much it. If you guys have any questions as to how you should adapt to your own group's DPS or whatever, let me know down in the comments below. And as you saw in the video, pretty much that's how stacking is done. No need to really explain much more.